I
Cocoa
like
Beach
I
is
like
really
Florida.
nice.
Yeah,
It is.
once you live there though, I quit going to the beach. I don't know.
It's
It's
it,
weird.
dude. It's like I grew up in New York, and the amount of times people have asked me like, "How many times have you been into the city?" And I'm like, I lived there maybe
Yeah,
for like 2 years. Like, have you gone to the
Mhm.
exactly.
statue? Like, I've never even been to the Empire State Building, and I'm from New York. You
Yeah,
know, it's
I
like,
get it.
oh my god. By the way, I got to tell you, like, I just finished listening up to Human Race, and it's kind of hilarious. You guys just like messaged me out of the blue because I remember you were talking the last time we were here about you guys working on new music,
Mhm.
and we talked about this before. Like, you guys, I don't know what it is. It's like as if you guys came like out of a time travel machine from the 80s and just
Yep.
showed up in 2025. And
Uh,
I fucking live for that shit, man. It's like, damn, what decade are you from? We're like from the
yeah,
80s, bruh.
yeah. I've kind of heard that before, so it's all right. Oh, good, you're vaping. I'm gonna vape.
We gotta keep it alive.
I
S-
was early into the vape situation, and it helped me quit smoking. And then I got real busy. This was a long time ago, like 10 years ago, maybe even a little older. And when you had to buy it from different places and mix it together, it was like effort and wasn't always successful. The battery would die, the filter would get filled. And so I was really busy at work and I couldn't order my stuff. And then I, like, after about 4 months, I got over this hump, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to get all my stuff. And then I was like, that's stupid. Dude, you beat it. You won. Why would you go back? So I gave it all to a friend and, like, that's it. I never vaped again.
I want to get there.
But you just need to get a job.
I sleep with my vape. You wake up with it in your hand? Yeah.
y-
Somebody invented something pretty clever.
listen, man. Like, I'm not trying to like, like put it on a put it on a stand, but reality is for a lot of artists, like substance is kind of a way to survive. Like I'll be honest, like the amount of artists I run into, like if it's vaping or if it's drinking, sometimes you got to be responsible with drinking. Like, come on, don't drive while
Yeah.
you're drunk out of your mind. You're gonna kill somebody.
Yep.
And then like there are some other people that do a little heavier stuff, like sometimes doing shrooms and LSD and MDMA, and I get that. There's people that like
Mhm.
that's how they get their creative process going and shit. But like, teach their own. I think everybody
Mhm.
kind of knows what's good for them and what's not.
Try not to judge, that's for sure.
Heath went pro in high school and he got to retire early from all that.
Yeah, yeah. I had uh, my adventures. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, come
I'm
on,
grateful.
man! You can't just be
I'm
telling me that on the pod and you just close the goddamn door. Like, gotta hear
I'm
some fun
grateful.
stories.
I'm grateful to
There's
still be
plenty of
around.
stories.
Yeah, it's it was definitely a big part of my life. All that stuff for a long time, and I'm finally I feel better, now than ever. And I got to where I am because of all that stuff. Is the way I look at it. So, but yeah, I dabbled in just about everything at one point, and used to play. That was how I was used to playing. Get up on stage, I couldn't really do it sober.
It,
Scare the shit.
it's hard. I mean, people kind of forget when you get up there and you're nervous and you're like, what are people gonna think? What are people gonna say? Like, one thing I feel and something I know even as an artist myself is when you're able to get in the vibe and everything else shuts down. It's just you're in your
Mhm.
head,
Yeah,
you're
the
in
flow.
that's where you want to be. And
Yeah.
you can do it without drugs. It's just it's hard. It takes a lot of energy, like almost quote unquote meditation and focus and shit, but it is doable. It's not like it's impossible.
Well, Heath now addicted to running.
Yeah,
That's his new drug.
I've traded it a little bit. I'll admit it's excessive, but I get really a runner's high afterwards. I get excited about what's coming. And Jeff, we're in his studio in Greenville, and I was living offshore near Hilton Head for a couple of years, isolated. I might have told you this story before, but anyway,
Yeah.
Jeff got me up here, and he's got the studio, and then we've got 18 plus miles of trail, and mostly bike riders, but it's perfect. I'm really blessed to have kind of come across this. I enjoy it a lot
Well,
out here.
we come from nature. I think that's a really interesting thing too, right? You're not the only person that's mentioned this before. Doing things like running or hot yoga, Pilates, stretching, all of these things can give you that quote unquote high.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's just a dopamine, like, there's other things, but
Yeah,
like it's like a dopamine hike. Like you're getting your adrenaline and everything rushing.
yep.
And it just like you pointed out, right? If you have a beautiful trail, you have a great place to run, obviously I sure as an artist, you got your own jams and music that you're getting playing, or sometimes you just need no music, you just want to hear nature. You just get out there. It's kind of like getting that bump from cocaine. It's just like
I don't listen to music out there. It's kind of my time for meditation, and
yeah,
I'm really in the moment. That you read all this stuff that's going on right now about what do they call it? When you meditate, you want to be in the moment. There's a word for it, but anyway,
flow
Present.
state,
yeah. Anyway,
Flow state.
flow
yeah.
state.
We got a song with
Yep.
that in there,
Mhm.
writing about some of that stuff, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my time with God, the universe, the source, whatever, thing that you think is. But I come up with a lot of ideas out there too. Like I'll get excited about midway through it, and I'll call Jeff when I get back. It's like, oh, we got to lay over a chorus at this point, or I've got a little bit of a break at this point. And I think a lot of it comes from just being alone and being able to
Yeah.
focus and thinking about the music.
I think what's really interesting, and I sometimes I tend to do this. I like to do comparisons. It's just how my brain works. When I think of you guys, because honestly, like it's a pleasure to be able to not only just have one conversation, but also have like a second conversation, like really,
Yeah.
really get to know. When you take like a band like Joy Division, okay, where Ian Curtis, which was the lead singer at the time, he committed suicide at 23. He had epilepsy. And instead of like the band collapsing, they kind of came back together and they created New Order. They
Yep.
just figured out a
Right.
way of like, let's do
Mhm.
something else. You guys remind me of that a lot because I know that you had a long separation between the two of you from years back and then coming back together and then starting making music now. And I
Yep.
think that really speaks a lot with an artist, right? Is like we're looking at history and we can see the story told over and over again. Just because there's tragedy, just because there's disaster, just because there's separation, doesn't mean that the art needs to die. Right?
Right.
I feel very fortunate to be able to have this next chapter again. I never in a million years did I think I would get to kind of do it again, and then for things to kind of start to be taken off for us, it's exciting. I wake up pretty motivated about this stuff. Um, Jeff sent me a picture yesterday. He took an old Zenith turntable to get refinished, and two doors down was a music store, and he took a picture of it, and there's a lot of Telecasters, Stratocasters in the background, American made, and I got really excited, so I'm gonna go pick one up. If they're open, I'm going to get one today.
Damn,
Yeah,
man.
I'm excited about it.
It speaks to the artist's soul because, one thing, like I've spoken about this before. A lot of music today sounds the same. It's like, okay, it's great. You've got artists that are wearing pink purple eyeliner, like they look like Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. That's great. I love the style. I
Mhm.
love the
Mhm.
energy. I love the vibe. Where is the creativity? Where's the originality? Where
Mhm.
is the soul in the music? Because you could make songs from today until tomorrow. It doesn't mean it resonates. It doesn't mean that, it feels like the artist. It's like, it's not just the song, it's the people behind it that is making it a reality. It's like, stop chasing what, the freaking numbers are telling you. Stop chasing what people want, like, or what TikTok is
Mhm.
looking for. I'm tired of that shit, man, because, like, you know how unoriginal that is? You know how AI and artificial and machine like that
Mhm.
is? It's just,
Mhm.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
we're trying to figure that out right now. It's a different ball game for sure.
It comes and goes, right? Like it's almost like the day the music died. For the next 4 years, it was bubblegum pop until the Beatles came in with leather jackets and guitars and great songs. And then it got overdone in the 70s. same kind of thing. Corporate rock, soft rock, that whole kind of overproduced. And I mean, I love Steely Dan, but Steely Dan wannabes with 400 string tracks.
The
And then it
Grateful
took
Dead,
Ramones
the Grateful
also.
Dead people,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
still
the
around
Ramones
now with their
came
Jeep
in with,
Cherokees, 2003, with all the little tiny little rainbow
yep.
beers in the back of there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, you're 68, get a life, bro.
So the Ramones came in with leather jackets and blue jeans and 2-minute songs and wiped it all clean again. And then Nirvana kind of did the same thing in the early 90s. Like all the hair metal was like cool one day.
Glam rock.
It was all corporate. It was all heavily produced. And then here comes Nirvana. It's like, nope.
Soundgarden.
Yep. Nope.
Oh,
They didn't have leather jackets.
Pixies,
They had
Ripped jeans and
flannel.
Pixies. I love
Oh,
Pixies.
Pixies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are they Irish?
No. Pogues are Irish.
Pogues.
Isn't U2 Irish also?
Oh yeah.
U2 is
Yeah,
Irish.
Yep. Got back from Ireland.
I went to Ireland this last week.
Really? How
Yeah,
was
it's great.
that? How was it nice to go back to? Were you in the Republic, or were you in like actual?
You've
No,
been,
I was
I've been
just
to the
in
UK.
the West Coast and then Dublin, but we saw U2 pop-up museum, which was very cool.
Wow.
I read it all. It was like their little journey. Then we saw traditional music out west in Doolin. And it's cool because you're in a restaurant eating, and then they have a little reserved for musicians sign. They'll put on a table or two, and then the band comes in, but you don't really realize they're the band. They look like they're just, and they eat. They're eating next to you, and then all like, boom, out comes the banjo and accordion, and they're playing, and they're like the table next to you. It's really casual and very cool.
It's a whole different. It's a whole different world. I mean, we have a lot of music and stuff that comes out of the United States. Like, one famous genre is like bluegrass is very, very Motown, very, very American.
Mhm.
But the UK and Ireland are heavily responsible for like progressive rock. They're responsible for
sure.
grunge, punk,
Huh?
indie, like, and that's kind of wild and fascinating in itself, right? Because I've been to the UK. I've never been to Ireland. I've been to the UK. It's like one of those places where you don't have this really in the United States. Like, you have dedicated places that literally look like an Oliver Twist story. It's
Yeah,
like
sure.
brick buildings all over. Everybody's wearing overalls. They all look like they work in a factory. They all drink too much beer. They got married in a stall. It's just culture, And then you go further
Right.
down, and it's like more posh and more proper, and people driving Jaguars, and it's
Very
so
fun.
it's so counterculture to America. It's like so the opposite. Like, they're so classist in there, but yet you get so much amazing music that comes out of it too, which is,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you got to be a real motherfucker to like push through that crap and make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I had a theory like America is a much more individualistic society, and Europe and UK are much more socialistic
Yeah,
society. And they produce better bands, and we produce better single artists.
yeah.
Like all the way back, Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, Michael Jackson. I
Prince.
mean, they don't have anybody kind of like Phil Collins, maybe kind of like that, but all the single artists are here, and then all the bands, Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, all that kind of, all the way to U2. So my counter to all
I can
that
see
was REM and the Beastie Boys. They're the two greatest rock and roll bands in America, in my opinion.
I
They're tied for number one.
I think the Beastie Boys are by far. I'm gonna say this. They're by far one of the best, one of the greatest rap groups that have
Yeah.
ever existed in.
Uh,
They're so great to the point that they're a bunch of grubby, slobby, rich prats that grew up in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and they were able to make music for the rebels so well that you'd actually believe that they grew up in like Harlem.
That's right.
Jeff loves them. We've got a couple of original Lamar Sorrentos. I'm gonna pin it up here. See if you can see it.
You're
See that in the
killing
background?
me. Oh my god, man, that is fucking
And
amazing.
then there's another one. I'm not gonna twist Jeff's computer because it's
Yeah, you
dangerous.
can do it.
All right, then there's another one over here. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, it's behind the lamps. You can kind
Ooh.
of barely see it.
Is the one that says New York City?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I connected with Lamar, and like I love your paintings. Da da da. Would you ever do one of the Beastie Boys? And he's like, you pay me, man. I'll paint whatever you want.
God.
I was like, all right. So I sent him this picture, the one behind us, and he did it. And then I sent him a picture of Run DMC, and then he sent me another Beastie Boy one. And I'm like, all right.
Marshall Stoner.
So then I tried to get him to do an REM one, and I couldn't. He wouldn't. He didn't respond. So now I had this one done.
REM is a whole different ballgame, man. Like, I remember, because I grew up in a Jewish cult. I left about 2017.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Another podcast. I want to hear about this.
So I had this one done.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
beautiful.
cool?
That looks
I had-
like, to anybody that's listening right now, it looks like mosaic tiles, like almost
Yeah.
like plastic, maybe glass, maybe like a shiny metal of some kind. It's really, really, really cool.
So this is a famous photo of them, December 4th, 1980, at the UGA Art Department end of semester party. And a rare picture of Mike Mills jumping, bass player.
Here you go.
And get the Beastie Boy one. Show them all the art.
We might just be on the radio. I mean,
All right, you can see it.
But I remember though, like it was around 2017, before 2017. It was that like 2016, 2015. And I remember I was listening to Losing My Religion by REM.
Yeah.
And, you know, as somebody that was like leaving the community and I was like trying to kind of figure out myself, I
Yeah.
listened to that song 5 times on repeat and I could
Yeah.
not stop crying because of how powerful that song was. And
No, the Beastie Boys.
oh, sabotage.
Yeah.
See-
Well, it was life changing then for you, huh?
it's not just that, right? Something that we forget a lot of the times as artists when we're making music is it is for ourselves because it is a representation of who we are. But when we put it out there, we have no idea on how many people it's affecting. Like you
Yep.
don't know, like for example, somebody could come like down the road, right, and say, "Hey Jeff, you know, I listened to Human Race and like I got my life all together. Like I was rock bottom. I was feeling
Yeah,
like
isn't
shit."
that crazy? It could be 20 years from now. You have
never
no
know.
idea. Right?
No
Like
idea.
you said, that song affected you in 2016. That song was written in 91,
Right.
right?
Right.
So then I had a Beastie Boys done in that same style, the Sabotage video.
That feels like GT. I don't know why it's giving me GTA vibes, like very heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we did some videos for Human Race. We're about to unleash our TikTok marketing plan of, a couple hundred videos. I did some on AI, and it's funny you mentioned two things. One was Joy Division. I made one like Joy Division's Never Tear Us Apart video.
Synchronicity, buddy.
And then I did and so there's like a series. There'll be like 10 in that genre. They're AI driven with a Human Race playing. And then I did another one which was a GTA. And it's like these characters running through the city, and we have lyrics.
Were you thinking GTA when you did it?
Yeah.
That's weird that he mentioned
Yeah,
it.
lyrics on the billboards, and it was fun making these videos. I can't kind of wait to press release and see the videos go out live too, because I don't think anybody's doing it. People are like anti-AI a little bit, but these are cool videos.
Yeah, it's
fun.
They're freaky. They freak me out a little bit. And you know, it's kind of our first official song Jeff and I are putting out there. We had one post at Christmas time, but I think we've got a lot better stuff to be released
Relevant.
that I'm really excited about. But Jeff did a lot of work on this, and it wound up being cool. I'm okay with it. I'm usually not okay with putting anything out.
I know.
But
so now we're going to try to do like an every 6 week. We'll have a couple hundred videos, like short ones, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and in that kind of feel of.
Are you guys
little? We grew up on MTV, right? So
yeah.
I love the video aspect of. Like I think of Aha, Take on Me. That video is like life changing a little bit.
It's still relevant.
Still cool.
Yeah.
Right. And same thing with a lot of those. And then I went to India. It's funny because I went to India in 2007, and MTV had kind of died down at that point. But Bollywood, it was like, this is like MTV. Like the whole things are just these huge productions, like Pat Benatar videos or Michael Jackson videos. I was like, man, that's pretty cool too. So we have an India video, theme video for Human Race coming out.
It,
So that's exciting.
it's interesting because India has a very interesting relationship with the United States in the sense where, because my exposure a lot to India is Southern Indians. I have not had the pleasure of like getting to know people specifically like from Punjabi areas. Like I've met people from Bangladesh outside of India, but Southern Indians are very interesting in the sense where they only know India, but yet they also know a lot of American culture. But they know the American culture under Indian influence, like under Bollywood and stuff. So like if you mention certain names and stuff, they're like, look at you, and then you'll put it on and they're like, oh yeah, I know. And then they know an Indian version of it, like by this random artist that like sings it. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not the original. But to them, they think that's the original, like the original Thriller song. They're like,
right.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's a crazy culture.
It is. But, I mean, it has shaped a lot of artists. I mean, I think also, like, the Beatles are one of the greatest examples of this, where they went to India, and out of that came 4 really incredible artists that eventually had solo careers. That they did have very successful solo careers. Like, I know people are like, oh, they broke up, but they... Except Ringo. Fuck Ringo. I don't care about Ringo. The rest of them, though, like, they really...
Ringo's still playing, though.
He's still playing!
And the drummer usually goes first.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a talented producer. As an instrumentalist...
Yeah. He was the least talented of the...
I don't think so. I think some of his drumming is impressive.
Yeah?
His fills and rolls.
I think Roger Taylor can play drums better than Ringo Starr. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this guy on TikTok, and he would go, here's why Ringo's a genius. Here's what he could have played. He'd put, say, a Beatles song, and he would play along. It would sound good, but here's what Ringo did instead. And it's a lot of staccato, to-do. He's not playing that just...
Less is more.
4 on the floor, moving forward. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because when you deal with band members, right, every single person is bringing something else into the band. Case with you guys, you're just a duo. You just got the 2 of you, so you got less.
We kind of picked up a drummer recently.
You did.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm excited about it.
He's the most talented of the group so far.
Maybe.
3's a company. But the truth is, like, that dynamic, like, people forget, like, the thing that makes bands really work is being able to have band dynamic. Like, great example is, we were talking earlier, like, the Ramones.
Yeah.
They hated each other. They hated each other with a passion.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they hated each other.
But they looked alike.
They did look alike. But they got along because they loved music. They wanted this to be their profession, and that's how they treated it. They treated it like this is their career, this is their job, and they're like, we hate each other, but right now we're on stage, and there's like 10,000 people watching. We're in a recording studio. Let's do this. Like, forget about our bullshit.
I didn't know they hated each other. I never knew that.
Famously, Johnny didn't go see Joey when he was dying, and they asked him, don't you want to go make amends? Because that would just be fake.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really... And then he retired, sold his guitar, never played again. Like, he's like, it was just a tool. I was a carpenter. That was a hammer. You think a carpenter keeps his hammer after he retires? I don't have a need for it. It's weird.
They're not the only ones, though. It's, again, like, it's a very interesting thing about band dynamics. Like, look at Queen. When Freddie Mercury died, like, no offense to Roger Taylor and Brian May, very talented artists, they fell into a very deep and dark depression. And they tried replacing Freddie with Adam Lambert. Like, no offense, like, the guy's very talented, but Brian, that's not Freddie. You can't replace Freddie, man. Like, you need to move on. And trust me, man, like, I know what it is to lose somebody that you love, and that's the thing that happens too, like, especially the both of you guys. Like, it's not only you guys are creating music, you guys are friends. You have stories, you have memories together. Like, that sinks deep. If anything God forbid, if anything ever goes south. But, like, you don't think about that shit, man. A lot of people don't, because they never really lost anybody, or they don't really understand what it is to have a long-term relationship, artist relationship with somebody for many years.
Well, that's a blessing, yeah. I think of REM when Bill Berry quit, drummer, and I think they struggled to write poppy, songs that were coherent and cogent. And I
Never heard
remember,
another REM song. Love
yeah,
it.
I remember in an interview with Michael Stipe, and the guy's like, "Now is it different writing without Bill?" He goes, "You betcha." It's like it's like having a different band all of a sudden, just the three of us instead of the four. And then Beastie Boys, right? MCA dies and they shut down. That's it. And,
I know.
pretty sad.
But you know
Everybody
what?
talks about, oh, we want them to get back together with like Eminem or somebody, Ice Cube or whatever. But I think it's the three of them were the Beastie Boys.
That was the magic.
But
So,
like I was saying earlier, like the same thing with Joy Division, it turning into New Order.
yeah,
You had that with Nirvana. When
that's
Kurt
right.
Cobain died, they all went out and to have successful career. I think it's Foo Fighters. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Fighters,
Foo
yep.
Fighters. Yeah,
Yeah. So there.
Bigger than Nirvana, I would
yeah.
argue.
He wrote. He's got more hits.
So
Yeah.
there's that too, right? Where we like to look at the negative side of it and say, okay, people die and it's horrible, and then all this horrible shit happens. But sometimes the universe works this way, where it's trying to have where that's the end of your chapter. And then you got to start. Yeah. He even said this. I forgot his name. The one that started the Foo Fighters. He even said that
Dave Grohl.
He said that was the end of the chapter, and he knew that after Kurt passed, that he had to rewrite a new chapter. And these are, again, we're just going all over all this shit, but it's kind of true. It's like all of these different elements and all of these different pieces, you got to keep this in your mind, because when you hit that wall and when shit hits the fan, you're like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? Knowing this beforehand, you're like, okay, we'll work through this. Let's figure this out.
It's an opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking about? Because then, your mind is going all over the place. I can see it.
Well, I mean, we're talking about loss, but I'll be honest with you. I can't get over the Jewish cult you talked about earlier. Because I won't go too off the deep end.
No, you can. I don't mind.
No, I've really gotten into noticing synchronicities and meditating and thinking about consciousness and what is the old Jewish mystics, or was that Kabbalah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you guys into that?
So Kabbalah is what's, like you said, it's the mystic arts. Generally, for most people, you're not allowed to delve into it. One thing I've realized, being now secular and outside of the community, I know the reason why. It's because the Kabbalah contradicts a lot of the stuff that the Jewish community does. So they only want specific amount of people that are extremely learned, already like deep within the trenches, to be able to learn and discuss it. Because otherwise you can leave. I know this because I knew somebody that like read the Kabbalah and they're like, all right, and they left.
Anyway, that's what I was thinking about. I think it's cool though, like I said, that's kind of, you went through that, and that's part of the reason you are who you are today. So it wasn't a bad thing.
No, it's not. I mean, it's weird because for myself also, like, I've always been someone that, like, I love music. I've always went out of my way where I would literally I remember this even in New York, I'd literally sit there and I would just hear somebody playing guitar, like around the train tracks. And I didn't know what the song was, and I would find out years later it was a John Lennon song, But just being able to like be there, experience something I've never experienced before in my life, I was just in awe of this man that probably had no home, had nowhere to go, just had a guitar case and a guitar, and just sitting there on,
There's a word for that. What is it, Jeff?
Busking.
Busking. So Jeff and I busked. Is that correct? Down in Savannah back in probably 92, 93.
I love that word, busked.
Yeah, busking. So now he's threatening me. We got to go do some busking because he wants to film it and put him on the videos. So I'm terrified enough getting up in front of a crowd, but busking on the side of the road.
People ignore you. Throw a
quarter in your guitar case. I don't know. I might not make it back from that.
I think it'll be cool. I bought this little, like a really early version of a beat machine
Yeah,
that I'm trying to program so
1990.
it could be just the two of us in this little beat
Big
box.
Casio keyboard. Tick, 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 pop, tick, 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 pop.
It's not a chord.
So,
It's not a chord machine. It's a Casio.
This is a Yamaha.
big.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cool looking.
Yeah.
It's got like
I haven't
synthesizers and
quite
stuff
mastered
built
it
in.
yet.
Jeff does all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff
it
like
has
that.
a cheesy horn strings, and then it's got
So
beats.
90s. So
I can play
90s.
it like this. I don't have to figure out how to record it yet.
Yeah. How to loop it.
Loop it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna figure that out soon.
I hope
Jeff does.
so.
He loves the retro stuff. He's got a tube amp back here he made. If you leave it on, it'll catch fire.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, it sounds magical.
Yeah,
So
nothing
cool.
better than a tube.
Well-
Jeff is a keeper of records, and I'm so grateful to be part of it because he's saved so much stuff over the last decades. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And I saved nothing. Like when I move, I throw my dishes away.
Another trip to IKEA, you know, to get another set of dishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting together another couch. Damn it.
But you know,
He's a
when
nomad.
we were talking about Led Zeppelin earlier, and I think like Led Zeppelin's a great example of this, right? Because a lot of people don't know this. They had this shtick where they used to use broken instruments.
Mm.
So they would purposely untune their guitars, their bass,
Mm.
and figure out how to play certain notes under those conditions. That's why, like, for example, when you listen to songs like Black Dog, you're like, what the fuck am I listening to? Because that's what they did. You know,
Yeah.
and I like that too, because not only like collecting or keeping artifacts or stuff, you're figuring out different ways of making music, raw music. It's like, yeah, you could use AI tools. Yeah, you could use GarageBand. I use GarageBand. But having those physical tools, those physical knobs, those switches, I don't know. I feel like you could make something really gnarly.
You're preaching to the choir here. I almost want to break everything out. Jeff's got old grills nailed to wood. You can do rhythm on. I mean, there's a ton of stuff just like what you're talking about here. When we recorded the Chill Bumps album, we used a lot of this stuff for the first time in the studio. But yeah, that's fun, and it is a lot better than the electronic automatic stuff that you kind of can put out now. But I'm still amazed with now what you can do too.
Oh yeah,
it's so much cheaper, and you have unlimited takes and
unlimited tracks. Sometimes that works against you. Like you feed into your like it's never done.
Yeah, it makes me feel like it's never done because you can always make it better
or take something away.
I realized something a few years ago because, like, I'm not, you know, I'm in my 20s and I never really been able to experience this because people, especially older than me, remember going to the movie theaters, right, when it was still film. It wasn't digital. It was a film reel. And I saw The Joker, the one from Quentin Tarantino, the first one, on film. And I sat there in the movie theater for the whole movie, and I just said to myself, I'm like, now I understand why people went to the movies. And this is going to sound strange. It's because you sit there and you can hear the...
Yeah.
And then, you know, you kind of see the screen flicker, and then the lights change because of film, you know, when it's going over.
A dot would come up, and he would change the...
Yeah. And I'm just...
That's normal.
And I'm like, I actually felt like I got $15 worth of my money watching a movie.
Yeah.
And it sounds strange because we're so used to seeing things digitally, but I swear to God, when you start getting a little bit more analog with things.
Jeff collects vinyl. He's got vinyl album collection.
I got 300 vinyls. I got a Sansui SR838 from the 70s. I spent like $1,300 on that thing. Like, I'm all bored. Like, I have a whole vinyl collection.
There's something happens when you push music through a tape machine too. It's like
that
natural
click,
warm compression, and
I know.
It's hard to replicate, you know.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because we like to veer to perfection a lot, even though our bodies and our minds are not designed for perfection, we're actually designed for imperfection. We're designed to see
Mm-hmm.
imperfections constantly. Think about it, like when you're hunters and gatherers and you're hunting animals, you're not going to look for perfections in animals. You're going to look for imperfections
Right.
so you're able to
Yep.
hunt them, right? So you have food
Yep.
for your family. So the thing that we like being able to go through industrial age and figuring out technologies and kind of starting off with analog things that kind of feeds our mind, even though we're in such a mechanic and industrial world. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you get more mechanic and more machine, it's fine. It's great. It's great quality. We got amazing shit that comes out of it. But something in our mind just doesn't click because it's too perfect. It's
Too
Yep.
too
perfect.
Yeah.
clean.
We got a lyric. What's the lyric on try to mechanize, then you lose your way, something like that.
Sounds familiar.
It's something like that, or it's that same idea of if you try to make everything automated, and then what's the human for?
Yeah, it loses its soul, which you kind of started
Yeah.
off the podcast talking about soulless music. There's a lot to be said for
Analog.
takes.
Yeah. Well, the world is analog, right? When we're out here in nature, right, and you can hear the cricket, they is the natural like compression that happens. There's loudness and then it quiets, and it's not a mechanical tone. It's a varied thing.
There's also an element where people forget, right? If you're an artist and you're constantly on the road and you're constantly going from venue to venue, you don't really have an opportunity to really have roots. You're not,
Mm.
and there's really no material. There's no like story or anything to back off. When you have artists, for example, like in your case, living in like the Bible Belt, you're living in North Carolina, you got Tennessee, you got Kentucky, you got Georgia. There's a different element there because a lot of people, you live in a little bit more rural areas, smaller communities. Yeah, there are studios and things, but it's a lot more spread out than in other places. And it allows you to connect more. You're able to be in the case like being able to run in nature and be able to hear the birds, in the morning, or hear those little fawns running around. That in itself gives you an upper hand as an artist that you wouldn't have before, because if you're constantly like on the move, you're constantly in the same places over and over again. I mean, how creative could you possibly be?
Yeah, it allows you to connect. Yeah, I think being out and outside.
A little bit slower pace of life.
Yeah,
Great.
it's great. I moved out here. I got a little tiny house out on the corner of Jeff's property out here, and I got a frog that raises hell out of a pond every night, and I love him. I haven't found him yet, but
Does he have a
he's the
name?
loudest. I haven't named him.
Well, he's probably about that big.
Yeah, we've got a couple of carp in the water named Jake and Elwood though.
Can we call him Barry?
Barry.
That would be
Done.
good. Very white.
Ba-
Big punch over your
Oh
weight.
my god. Believe it or not, actually, that could even be like its own inspiration in itself. I love, I love folk, I love funk, I love soul, I love hip hop, I love even old school rap and all this shit. But some of the earliest pioneers, especially of like experimentation, is like somebody like Bob Dylan. It's hilarious because people don't like know this, but like back in the day, people were freaking the fuck out when he went electric guitar. Like there were articles and they were going nuts. They're like, Bob Dylan has sold his soul to the devil.
The traitor.
Traitor. But the man, like, lived pretty rural. He lived a kind of like nomad life. And there's something to it. There's something about artists that look for that lifestyle where their music doesn't sound like other artists. It doesn't sound like somebody that's recording in LA. It doesn't sound like somebody that's recording out of Chicago. You could feel it. You really can.
What's the studio in Alabama?
Muscle
Shoals.
Shoals.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that studio?
It's Muscle Shoals, Fame Studios.
Who's some artists that have recorded out of there?
Well, the Stones, Aretha Franklin,
in Alabama, pretty famous spot.
Yeah.
Really? I did not
Name
know
check.
that.
Yeah, name checked in the song "Sweet Home Alabama." One of the verses in Muscle Shoals, they got the Swampers. That was the name of the house band. And yeah, they bunch of hits came out of there.
In
All that
Alabama.
swampy kind of backwoods southern rock, soul. It's in North Alabama, pretty close to Memphis, so that whole kind of scene. And it was really this one dude that ran Fame Studios, and he brought in some kids, really musicians, but they could lay down some tracks. And then they all kind of got their own studios at some point. But yeah, that's where the Stones went to record in '69, maybe, because
Jesus.
of what they had already done there. So it's a whole vibrant scene still. Muscle Shoals.
It's a part of
There's a great Netflix called The Muscle Shoals Sound. It'd be great. It's a great documentary.
it sounds
Check it out.
amazing. I
Yeah.
I again like it's crazy to even think like this is the American story. I mean, besides being a
Mhm.
country of a melting pot of immigrants, like you have a place like Alabama out of all places where you have
In the
some
late '60s,
in the
when
late
the civil rights
60s.
is blowing up around them, and then you have Aretha going down there to record. It's pretty fantastic, really.
Music
Crazy.
always kind of rises above it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I think art has a way of speaking out to the truth because it's not
Yeah,
as much as you have all of these executives try to figure out ways of making profits and meeting margins and quotas and all this bullshit. Like, yeah, obviously, there's definitely a market to make a lot of money off of this.
Hmm.
But that other market, the one of real, true, genuine people just creating their own craft, like a blacksmith, making a sword in his
Hmm.
shop, that is becoming more strong than any other decade we've been in. Like, we're in a point where there's no genre anymore because they have
Hmm.
no hold anymore. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
the gatekeepers are gone.
the
yeah.
gatekeepers are gone.
Yeah,
Hallelujah!
hallelujah. That's right. And what I like is, Heath and I sitting in here, and one moment there's not a song, and then a few moments later there's a song out of the ether, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. And that song now is a forever thing.
And then I'll get excited about it, and it'll just kind of create itself.
Yep.
It's the music that we're putting out. It's not a planned type of music. It just kind of creates itself, and it's not really stuff that, I mean, I'm a heavy metal grunge fan, and this is totally not that. And it just so it's always like a surprise to me,
Hmm.
like fun little bonus. What happened?
I
Feels like it's channeled sometimes.
you
We
know
had
what?
this one song, "Summer's Calling." I think
Yeah.
it'll be song number 3, maybe. Uh, it started just a little acoustic riff, and then Heath added a vocal, and we kind of were going in normal progression, guitar, bass, or whatever. And then we like came back a little bit and added a clarinet and an
Yeah,
oboe, and all of a sudden it sounded like something from the '60s
'60s.
with Frank
Yeah,
Sinatra, and it was. And then we had Andy come in, and he like in 5 takes he recorded 5 different percussion instruments, and they were all like printable, perfect.
yeah. It added a lot to it. It really,
And then I played the fretless bass on it,
yeah,
which was bizarre. In fact, I made a mix for him of just Heath singing, me playing fretless, and the percussion. And it was
yeah,
it was different.
yeah.
It was cool.
I,
Like, where did that come from?
I feel like I'm serious. Like, I feel like the more I talk to you guys, like, again, I hate doing comparisons, but you do have a very similar story to New Order. It's really
Yeah,
hilarious. It's
yeah,
like almost like we got a new version of New Order in the 2020s. You
yeah,
know?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
those
Ugh.
Thanks,
guys are
thanks,
great.
man.
Yeah, that's pretty, I appreciate it.
Do you guys ever thought about that to like
Well,
an extent?
I love New Order and I love Joy Division. Those guys are incredibly
Pioneers.
talented.
Pioneers.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video of them, and the whole punk scene broke, and they were in. There's a great movie. I don't know if it's a great movie, but it's great from my perspective. Called 24-Hour Party People. You ever seen that? And it
Partially.
shows the Sex Pistols playing in Manchester, like in 77 or 75 or whatever. It's like there's only 150 people there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're the 5 members of Joy Division, later become New Order. That's Depeche Mode over there. These people eventually became the Stone
That's
Roses,
cool.
12-year-old kids. It's like every band that came out of England happened to be at that Sex Pistols show in Manchester. And they're like in a Holiday Inn and they're taking the chairs and breaking
That
them.
really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. They were there like when the bomb, like, wasn't there a song by U2 talking about when Joey Ramone came and the bomb exploded? Like that was this show was the Sex Pistols in Manchester.
Wow.
So they were there. Crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
All kind of emanated from that. Like
Kind of like
every
CBGB's is
yeah,
the origin.
everything before that was like not non-existence. It was now from this became this everything else.
And not in a little way, superstars.
Superstars.
You know what it is? It's we've forgotten this. We've forgotten this as artists as one of the ways that we've been able to become successful for ourselves, not for corporate,
Yeah.
not for large corporate, for ourselves, is collaboration. And we've seen this over the decades, over and over again. Artist inspiring artist, audience inspiring audience. Like I'm not a very, like, I'm a little bit of a spiritual person. I genuinely feel that a lot of this stuff comes from another universe. Maybe it comes from the soul or the subconscious.
The source consciousness, everything.
Everything.
That connects it.
Yeah, there's something, it's not coming from this world. I just, like, that's the feeling I'm getting. Like, there's no way in hell that this is coming from this planet. It's being fed in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, man.
A lot of our lyrics.
I'm searching. I'm looking. Be careful what you ask for.
You know what though? I feel that the more you're able to tap into it, because I feel like you've been able to do that a lot too, the more it just becomes a part of you. It's like the second you get into that flow state, be able to make
It's
music,
easier and easier.
it just comes. It's just all of a sudden your
Yep.
mind just gets flooded with that.
Yep. You start to see synchronicities, and you start to notice, and the more it happens, the easier it gets to tap into it.
Yeah.
More normal it feels.
Yeah.
Yep. Great.
You know what? One thing that, like, we should touch on, because we did talk about this earlier, was your new song that came out, which is Human Race, which, I mean, I've listened to it just for one time, and it's just like, it's like one of those like a Sgt. Pepper Beatles song. Like, you start listening, you're like, oh my God. And then you hear the vocals, you're like, oh, and it's just getting a little, and then the ending is just like, bam! You just get, like, smacked in the fucking face, like a UFC fighter, just bam, right in the face, and you're like, whoa.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So that song, actually, we wrote it in the '90s, and it's kind of completely different.
Come on, man, you waited since the '90s to release the shit.
Well, no, it got released. Our old band, the Chill Bumps, we had it on their CD, but and we recorded a couple of other old songs that Jeff and I wrote. That the band wrote. We gave everybody credit for it, but this version is completely different, and a lot of that is Jeff's production and his ideas.
You had a little bit to do with it, just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, I added the guitar riff is all new. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff to it, but it seemed like a good kind of first tune to put out into the ether. And
It's a great song.
Yeah, I like what you've done with it a lot.
It speaks volume because it's not only just music, it's experimental, it's grungy, it's got rock in there, it's got alternative. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, this whole idea of, like, quote unquote genres of decades, you're kind of rewriting that shit. It's like,
I love you, man. I appreciate this. It's good feedback. I like it. You get it.
Listen, man, you know what? Like, I've spent so much of my life behind the curtain that when I left, I made a promise to myself. It's like, the last thing I'm going to do is be covered again by the same curtains by people, quote unquote, that are trying to tell me how I'm like, no. I can make my own decisions. I can figure out stuff on my own. But being able to meet genuine and honest people and have those conversations and actually like being able to like have a talk, not just spill the bullshit. Because guess what? You'd be surprised. I run into those artists and they're talking to me about marketing and they're talking about investments and this and I'm just like, So you want me to give you $16,000 right now on a check and you'll be gone in 2 weeks? Because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's not genuine.
Well, a lot of that is dictated of whether or not, if it's your full-time job or not. Jeff's got a corporate job that puts food on the table, and I've got a little bit of anything. So we're not slaves to having to make money off something. It'll be a bonus, if we make money off it, but that's not the purpose.
It's being able to have balance. Like the amount of times, people try to strive to be social media influencers and stars and feel like, oh my God, I can make money from that and then travel the world and do. Instead of figuring out ways of improvising as an artist and being successful for yourself, such as being able to financially support yourself. It may not, it be maybe like, for example, your case, a corporate job. It may not something that you dream of doing for the rest of your life, but that's fine because it's allowing you to do what you love and it keeps you going. And I think that's what matters the most. It's not giving up everything so you could be like, ACD says like, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. It's like, motherfucker, it's a long way to the top of rock and roll. And if you don't got the bread, you ain't crawling up that hill. You tumbling down like Humpty Dumpty.
We've been there. The first go around, it was my job, and I didn't have a pizza unless we played 3 or 4 nights a week to make rent money. But it was great though. I love that end of it too. But yeah, this is a little bit different this time. We're able to take our time with it, and it's different. I'm very grateful.
It's fun. So Rick Rubin's I'm a big fan of his. He's a hero. I saw him on TikTok, and he's like, the number one criteria if you're making music, it needs to be, is it something you want to make?
Yeah.
You can't go chase. You said this earlier. You can't go chase the next thing because it's just fake. It's got to be something you like, you're interested in. And he's like,
and that comes out in your music.
That's all you can do. And then you give it to the world. You can't control whether people get it or like it or hate it. You just need to. And I think we now have this kind of disciplined schedule where we're going to release a song every 6 weeks. And it's like we have 20 or 30 songs that we have beginnings of. 3 or 4 pretty much ready, right? They're ready. And
I don't think they're ready.
And then they'll go. But, we have work to do on a song that won't be released for a year.
Yeah.
Right? There's work today. We need to be thinking about where's that chorus going to go, or how do I add a bridge, or, what are we going to record and keep or re-record. So it's like, it's almost like a factory, right? It's like this song has maybe an 18-month runway all the way to mastering and these videos that we'll put on top of them. And so it's a creative, rich environment. Not just songwriting, crafting, song recording, production, and then the video aspect. I found that to be pretty fun too, even though I'm not super great at it. It's cool.
We got to do some live gigs too. I think that's a really key piece of being.
That's why we're going to learn how to buff.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count.
It's being able to connect with the community. I think that's where people love live shows, but I'll be honest, like I was talking with somebody recently about this, it is really insane what the hell they've done to live concerts. I mean, the slashing of tickets, because you have people that come in there and they buy up all the tickets and then they upstock them like through the freaking wazoo. And then you got these wonderful sweetheart community venues and then they're charging everybody freaking like $50 fees and then $10 fee to go see the band. It's like, People are coming here to have a good time with their family. Stop charging them.
Mhm.
Just charge them
Yeah, I
an
wouldn't feel
entrance
right.
fee. Like, that's it. End of story.
Well, and there's a complexity there too. Like the venue, the venues, it's almost monopolistic now. The venues and Live Nation and the record companies are all in
I know.
cahoots. Screw the artist, uh, and the venue makes more money on alcohol and parking and T-shirt sales.
Mm-hmm.
The artist may cover the cost of the venue. Like they charge the artist, 20 grand to rent the venue, and maybe they make 25 grand in receipts. So the venue makes 20 grand, and then they make another 100 grand on alcohol, and the artist doesn't see any of that. So there's got to be a different model, in the future.
We have a sound guy back in the day in our first band, and he made $100 more than we did. I remember having a hard time with that.
No, it is crazy because like
Gotta have good sound, though.
Yeah, you gotta have
have
good
good
sound.
sound.
you gotta have
I'll
good
say.
sound. And I mean, $100 back in the day that could have been a payment towards a
$100
Mercedes.
more.
No, he was making
He
like
made the same as
300.
we did. And, yeah, we
Oh,
come home with
$100.
$200
Holy shit! So he made a lot more.
A lot more.
He was the sound guy of a band called Jelly Beans.
Jellyfish.
Back in the early 90s, and they were a pretty big band.
Yeah.
And so he had moved to Atlanta. Jellyfish had broken up, and we got him, and we're very fortunate to get him. He was
great.
magic.
Shalom.
Shalom was his name.
He was crazy. He would bring out the PA every day with Babylon Sisters by Steely Dan.
Yeah, that's what he sound checked, and I hated it.
He said that's
because I was a rocker.
That's the most perfectly recorded song in the history of recorded music. So I'm going to make your crappy PA sound as good as it can playing this song.
Yep.
So to this day, if I ever get a new stereo, I start it with Babylon Sisters and I fiddle with the EQ until it sounds right.
I feel like there's other songs that have better pitch than that one. Like I could name a few.
Shalom's pretty tight.
He was tight.
Oh my god.
Moody guy.
But that also ties in again to what we were saying in regards to collaborating. It's where, for example, if you're having a live event and it's, community based, it's like a market or whatever, you got other people, local businesses coming together, and you have an area where you want to be able to have live music. Instead of like treating it like everybody's on like survival of the fittest, it's like, why doesn't everybody work together as a team? It's like you're trying to support the community, you're trying to bring in families, trying to bring in people to have a great time. It's like, why fight instead of make it work?
And now I think it's happening a little bit, I think, online. Like our Instagram and our TikTok, we're trying to build a community with other artists because it's not really a competition. It's
we're very unselfish with the music.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take input from anybody, and if it's good, we'll bring it in, use it.
I mean, these guys literally have a spot on their website to post a video if you know how to pronounce the name of the band.
Yeah,
all right?
That's great.
So they're not afraid of a little bit of, criticism or any of that kind of shit. It's literally on their freaking website.
I'm afraid of it. Jeff loves it.
I love it.
Oh my god. Well, you know what though? It speaks because you're being who you are as people, right? Regardless if it's a website, if it's social media, if it's the music that you're putting out, it's like, regardless of any scenario, if somebody is listening to your band or is a part of the audience, they know what they're getting. It's not like a Tom Petty situation, No offense. I know he passed away, but it's not a Tom Petty situation where you go to a live concert and the man's just a total shitbag. You get the same genuine person every single platform, every single place across.
Yep. That's us.
And that's hard to do. That's hard to do, man. Like I'm.
Well, I don't know. It's harder.
This man is the most comfortable in his skin of any human being I've ever met. I try to feed off it and try to be more like Jeff.
I think it's harder to be different. That takes me energy. Like you never wake up in the morning like, man, I'm going to try to be more like myself today, right? you got to work the other way.
Yeah,
I'm going to be more fake today. I'm going to try to
that's
be
true.
different.
That's true.
But you never go, God, what would Jeff do?
Sometimes I do.
You don't say, what would Heath do?
Oh no, I say what would Jeff
Yeah,
do?
I was saying it's easy for you to be Heath.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easy, but yeah,
It's easier for you to be Heath than for you to be Jeff.
that's true.
That's same for me.
But you know what? It's personalities coming together and bringing those differences. Like something I've realized even for myself, I'm currently in vocational school, and a lot of the guys there, like, they actually like look at me as somebody to talk to. I mean, it has something to do with me doing podcasting for quite some time, so I know how to talk to people. I know how to communicate. And it's wild to me because, I think like, okay, most people know how to do this. Turns out a lot of people don't know how to have a conversation and just talk and just break things down. But when you take something like, for example, the two different personalities, right, where you have one person that's more comfortable being outward, and for example, if you're not so comfortable of like being in front of audiences, in front of other people, that's fine. You have somebody to balance off of that, which, a lot of times people find people that are very similar to them. And then they wonder why their relationship is not going the way that they want it to. It's like, maybe because you guys see too much eye to eye. Like, how much can you possibly learn from somebody if you see only eye to eye?
That's an old, idiom in the corporate world. You got two people that think the same way. You really only need one of them in your organization. You don't need two people that think the same way.
No.
What's the purpose?
You don't get any creativity out of it either. You don't get any. I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm a car person, so it's like either you get like a Toyota Corolla or you get like a Mercedes SLK. It's like one, you could see like different people coming together and really building this car because it's a lowrider 2-seater roadster that's powerful and it's freaking gorgeous. But then you have like this other practical car that obviously was probably made by people that think very similar. I mean, it just has one simple purpose. You just get in there and drive. And then if it breaks down, you just call the number to your dealership and then you're done.
It's funny because I don't have a Toyota, I have a Lexus, but it's like the high-end version of what you described.
Lexus is different though.
I don't know. But then he has the Mercedes.
I just got the SL500.
Oh, I love this man. I love this man. You speak my language.
Mine is like old man car. Was super reliable. I put gas in it, and that's it. Change oil. Heath's car. There's 10,000 buttons.
It's over-engineered. I'm scared to press a button in it. But I've finally got it running smooth, and I love it. I haven't even turned the air on this summer. I take the top down everywhere I go. Take my shirt off, take the top down. And
what color? Red?
It's white.
White. What's the interior?
White tan leather interior.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're killing me over here, man. Like, now I need to come to North Carolina.
Yeah.
We need to come for a ride. Oh my god. But
well, you could drive here in my car. You couldn't drive here in Heath's car.
Yeah. Now you say that, it's running like a cat now.
Would you drive it to South Florida?
I mean, I took it to Birmingham, 5 hours.
South Florida is probably 15.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. I don't like to drive.
That's true.
But
I love to drive. I drive my car anywhere. I drive it out west if I had to.
I think the universe is winking on us with this podcast because you have mentioned 3 or 4 things now that have been relevant.
Yeah, you know what though? Like that does definitely speak. Like, people like to get this idea in their heads, and this could apply to a lot of different things. Just because a car has a Lexus badge on it and just because it has a Mercedes badge on it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. They have different purposes. Like, I could obviously tell that the both of you are pretty meticulous. So, like, if you're maintaining and taking care of it and treating it like, hey, I need this car to get from point A to point B. I need to be able to take care of stuff. It will take care of you. I feel like that applies to a lot of things in life. If you fight and you're like, I'll deal with it later, you're just going to fuck yourself in the leg. I do like the fact that one of you has a Lexus and the other one has a Mercedes. I think that's a good balance.
Yeah. Yep. And mine is old, has 258,000 miles on it. My goal is to get to 1 million.
Yeah.
What year is it?
2012, I think. I was 13 years old, almost 14.
It's crazy, and it's
But I love it.
you know what though, like I'm one of those where I love German and Japanese craftsmanship just for the sheer
Mhm.
fact of like how much of an like literally of a middle finger they give the United States. Because let's be
Mhm.
really honest, like no offense to GM and Ford and Stellantis, which is Chrysler, they make really horrible cars. Like
Mhm.
I like the Ford F-150. It's nice. I probably take one from the 90s. I just that's the thing too, man. Like just so much of what American, like being American, when we were proud of making and building here, is just
Mhm. Mhm. Well, when I bought this house here, this property's on, I got 2 trucks with it
Yeah.
that are in various states of running, not
Yeah.
running.
I'm scared of them.
One of them
Jeff loves
is
them.
a '79 Ford F350
diesel or
gas,
okay,
but it's a beast,
you're in
and
trouble.
it has the utility, piece to the back.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Steel?
Yep, and it is huge.
It's not
And
galvanized
when you
steel. That is old school steel that will rust like a
turn it
mother.
on, it sounds like you're driving a tank. It's awesome. It's stick shift,
Oh god.
and then I also got. Neither of these were running when they both
They
run
both
today.
came with the house.
And the other
Guy
one
didn't
is
want to move
what,
them.
like a
Great.
92 Ram 1500, all jacked up. And that car is ragged out. The Ford's in better shape than the Dodge, actually. But I got these 2 trucks that kind of go with the property.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this kind of sounds like, a song idea or maybe a
Yeah.
video idea. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out in the
Yeah.
universe.
Cool. Well, this was great talking. I got to get going to my next thing.
Oh,
But
no,
I enjoyed it.
my pleasure, my man. And
tremendously.
Liz, again, like, I thank you guys so much for coming on and spending the time.
Yeah,
Like,
anytime.
to anybody that's out there, where can you guys find your website? I know you
Yeah.
guys are on SoundCloud. Do you have your music on any other platforms at this point?
So go to our website. It's hecojeni.com. HECOJENI. Hecojeni or Hecojeni. The song "Human Race" is going to be released worldwide on June 30th. So it'll be on Spotify, iTunes.
We got a lot of college radio stations
Apple
going to
Music.
spin it.
Yep, we sent out CDs to college radio. So that'll be in your face on June 30th. Today's the 29th, so that's tomorrow. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome. I love that, man. Oh my, we covered a lot of shit. I mean, we covered the arts, the spiritual, Mercedes.
Yeah, there you go. Great mind. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it, man. It was great to talk with you.
Yeah, let's do it again.
We should. We'll definitely do this one of these days. We got to do round 3.
Yeah.
To anybody out there, if you want to check out more of the podcast, you can find us at Lost in the Groove Pod. We are everywhere and everywhere. I will leave. This episode's going to be on Substack and Rumble, so check it out as well. Otherwise, motherfuckers, catch you next week. All right, peace out.